Positivity and motivation are an internal thing. We can't wait or rely on things that are external to us to happen, to make us positive or to actually motivate us. It's a decision that we have to make. We have to decide every day, today I'm going to be positive. Today I'm going to be motivated. And we need to live by that. And we need to continuously remind ourselves that that is the stance that we're going to take in our lives. You see, as we go throughout the day, even with the best of intentions, there are things that will happen that often change that. We can often become very negative very, very quickly. And I can just think of things like leaving the house, for instance, and maybe you're driving to work and somebody comes along and they cut in front of you, or they don't let you in when they really should be letting you in as you merge your lane with another in the busy traffic. It's very easy to become frustrated and to become negative and all of those sorts of things. And by the time we get to work, we might be in a bad state of mind where it doesn't matter what happens from there on in, it's going to be a bad day. But we can make choices to be positive. And often it actually means that we've got to set aside our own ego and think of other people, put them first. So the person who cut you off in front of traffic, yeah, maybe think that the most positive things you can about that person. Think it out loud, even say it out loud. Bless them as they go on about their day. Maybe pray for them and ask that they would be able to get to their location safely without harm. But also understand that they too are experiencing the frustrations of battling the traffic and getting from where they were to where they want to be within the time frame that they need to get there. They don't want to arrive late, just like you don't want to arrive late. So let them have the opportunity to get there first, and just think about them. Think in their shoes for a moment and be less judgmental. It's so easy to judge. Often we judge people like that, and then the next person who actually doesn't let someone in is often me. So we need to be less judgmental. But we need to have this positive mindset that thinks the best of other people. And by thinking the best of other people, it could be in this particular example that we choose to think, this person needs to get somewhere in a hurry. This person is about to miss out on something important, an important meeting, important dinner, whatever the case is. But this person obviously needs to get somewhere because they're going to miss out on something important. Just because you don't have anything important doesn't mean they don't have anything important. So if we want to be positive, we need to change our mindset. And we need to change the way that we treat others and offer them perhaps some grace and just let them do what they need to do. Focus on the things that we can control. We can't control someone else, nor is it our business to do so. Think about those things. Start the day by writing down the things that you are grateful for. Write down 5 things that you are grateful for. In fact, do this at the beginning of the day and bookend it at the end of the day by doing it again. Write down 5 things that I am grateful for today. And if you can't think of anything that you're grateful for, just have a look around you. I'm grateful that I'm breathing. I'm grateful that I'm able to get out of bed. There are some people who can't. Maybe you're grateful for your health. Maybe you're grateful for relationships. Maybe you're grateful for your wife, your children, whatever the case might be. Write it down. And it doesn't matter if tomorrow you write down the same things. If you're still grateful for those things, great. But I like to be a little bit creative and try to think of new things, new ideas. If you're struggling to think about the things you're grateful for, then think about the fact that there's always somebody in the world who is worse off than you. It helps. Trust me. You will find something that you're grateful for. And those things start to help us to be more and more positive. The third point I want to make is cut out the things that cause negativity in your life. Sure, there might be particular relationships where there's negativity, and maybe you need to look at cutting those out. Maybe there's some relationships that are negative that you need to work on to turn into positive relationships. Those relationships where they are actually relatives, right? Not just friends, but relatives. But on the same token, think about other things that are negative. I don't know about you, but I like to watch the news, and I've got to discipline myself not to watch the news. You know, the interesting thing about the news, particularly here in New Zealand, is often it really isn't news. And when there is news, it's always negative. It's someone else's view on the world, the reporter's worldview comes through, their slant, their bias, and all of those sorts of things. And it can be very frustrating. So I make the choice to limit the amount of time I spend reading and listening to or watching the news, because it can be overwhelmingly negative. You see, if you need to know something that's happening, that's important, that's in the news, well, someone else will actually tell you about it. All right. So the fourth idea that I have, which I believe that can help you be positive, is to stop complaining. Stop complaining about things. If something's not right and you have a solution that you can add, then offer your help and your support. Don't necessarily highlight the problem or the issue, but come alongside somebody and say, hey, I think there's an opportunity here for us to do X, Y, and Z, and I think that this will make this even better. And they'll be open to you and receptive to you. The other thing that you can do is refrain from complaining. You know, one of the things I've found, and this happened to me just the other day, I felt like I needed to say something or complain about something. And there was a group of probably about 15 of us together. And there was another group nearby who were making a lot of noise, and it was probably a little bit too noisy. And I felt like saying to an organizer at the event I was at, oh, they need to turn their volume down. Then I thought, no, I don't need to. I'm not running this. If there's a problem, the organizer will pick up on it. Or somebody else will complain, because there's 15 of us here in my particular group. And you know what? Almost everyone in that group, other than me, complained. You see, I didn't need to. So not only do I have to put aside negativity so that I can be positive, but I can be the positive person. And I can look for the positive things in every situation, because there always is. You see, I'd rather be the person who offers encouragement than the person who's likely to complain. And it hasn't always been like that for me, and it's something that I have had to work on. Well, motivation. And I've talked about motivation in some of my other videos, but motivation is one of those things that really comes about by taking action. And motivation often needs grit. And that grit is really the ability to stick at something, even though we're not seeing the results that we want to see when we want to see them. But we're thinking about the long game rather than the short game. Grit gives us the ability to stick with it and keep working towards it. But I want to tell you something. Everyone has to do things they don't like. Everyone has to do things they don't like. And I think we need to bear this in mind when we're working towards something, a goal or an achievement or whatever the case might be. We're going to have to do things we don't like. We're going to have to do things that we don't like. But the key is that to stay motivated, we must keep taking action and keep our view on the long game rather than the short game, what we have here.